To give you a quick bit of background on Omega Project Solutions. As a company, we've been around since the early 90s. Our headquarters is in Norway. That picture, in fact, is of our headquarters on a beautiful fjord in Norway. We've been a supplier of systems and consultants to the energy sector. Our core is major projects. And the basic thrust of the company is to help projects improve their performance, decision-making, and communication through our PIM systems and our systems and consultants. Our PIMS product range consists of 10 different modules. Obviously today we're focusing on completion management, the one at the bottom left, but we also specialize in cost management, document control, and numerous different products. Now today's focus is going to be really a story that we had from one of our EPC clients. They needed to have their inspectors spend more time out in the field in the commissioning and completions process. There's some of the challenges that they were having. They couldn't send them out to the field with Wi-Fi enabled devices like laptops or tablets because of the safety concerns. The fields were so large that it was hard to provide coverage if in fact that was allowed anyway across the whole yard. So they would use the traditional method of coming into the site office each morning, collecting their paper-based checklists and taking them out with them. Occasionally the paper-based checklist, once it may get lost, and misplaced or damaged due to rain, weather conditions. It also provided a large volume of paperwork at the end of the day that had to be scanned back in. To today's webinar. Today we're going to focus on risk management and looking at how we can use our PIMS risk management tool to help us minimize threats, but also exploit opportunities that arise within projects. The functionality is going to show how to take a more proactive approach to risk management, how to make sure that we are adding threats and opportunities to our risk list during the life of a project, not just at the beginning, and how to make sure we're progressing them during the life of the project. So let's get started. First off, if you're new to webinars and GoToWebinar, this is the tool that we use. If you need to ask a question during the webinar, just type it in that box you see there. Okay, hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. You can swap between your computer speakers and a telephone if you like. Just click on the relevant button and it'll give you the instructions you need. But submit a question at any time. We've got people in the background there ready to answer them, and we'll summarize the questions at the end. So today's agenda, I'm going to introduce the team. We're going to give you a little bit of background on the company, Omega, who we are, what we do, and then we're going to spend the bulk of the time looking at risk management, how the tool helps you manage both opportunities and threats, summarize on the benefits, and then come back at the end and recap on the questions and answers that we've had during the webinar. So my name's Shane Butt. I'll be your host and presenter today. I've been with Omega for over 12 years and have implemented our PIMS solution.
Welcome everyone to Omega Project Solutions webinar on interface management. Today you will get the chance to see and learn how to improve the execution of your projects by successfully and efficiently managing your project interfaces. My name is Natalia Urquiaga, and on behalf of the Omega team, we thank you for your time. We're very happy to have you all here today and appreciate you all taking the time to listen in. For those of you new to the GoToWebinar application, let me show you how it works. You should see a control panel much like this one on your screen. Here you can select the method of audio and be able to answer questions. Hopefully the sound is coming out good and everyone can hear me clearly. I assume most of you are using the speakers on your computer, but if you prefer using your phone, simply click on this radio button that says telephone right over here, and the number to dial in will appear on your screen. Here at the bottom, please feel free to ask any questions throughout the presentation. Our product expert will be available to answer them. If you wish to collapse and expand the panel, you can do so by clicking the red arrow on the side that's shown right here. And just so you guys know, this webinar is being recorded and should be available at our website, omega.no/US, shortly after today. So stay tuned for that. Okay. This is what our agenda looks like. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the team so you know all the people that are involved. Then we're going to give you a background on Omega as a company, for those of you who are not familiar with what we do and what are we about. And then we're going to go jump into a live demonstration into our PIMS interface management tool, covering 2 scenarios. Then we're going to do a recap of the benefits. And finally, we will address questions and answers towards the end of the presentation.
Gas industry, specifically major capital projects within the industry, and we supply both people and systems to those projects and companies. And our focus is to help projects improve their performance through personnel and software products and services. Our product set is shown here. Obviously today we're focusing on health and safety and PIMS HSE, but we also do document control and cost control, completions and commissioning, and those products are used by different clients throughout the world. But again, the focus today is health and safety, SIMS, and PIMS HSE. And the thing that differentiates us from all other software companies is we do what's needed to make our software your software. So we configure it and help you support and implement it so that it does what you need to do. So now I'm going to hand over to Tracy to give you a bit of Energy 21 background on the process we went through.
Hi everyone, my name is Tracy Elsenboss. I am a member of the Energy 21 Process Safety Team, which is a division of HSE. Just a quick little background about SIMS and MOC. When we actually first had our first SIMS audit, like most other companies, we had deficiencies. We noticed, though, that many of our deficiencies could be corrected by a more robust management of change MOC process. That was what really spurred the change for us to start looking into the PIMS software itself. We could fix one thing that would lead to, we could fix one thing and that would lead to the fixes for other items by using the MOC process. And in comparison to other companies, we had a much smaller size staff. So this led us to look for solutions that could work on a smaller scale. And we really needed things that would be more automated, but still retain the people aspect.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Omega webinar, where we'll be talking about our PIMS Experience and Benchmarking tool. Our title is Get Ready, Get Set, Your Projects Are Ready to Go. One solution to ensure your projects are on track. Again, we appreciate you guys all joining us today and taking time off of your busy schedule to listen in. So to get started, let's go. For those of you new to the program that we're using, GoToWebinar, just a few little things on how it works. You may see a control panel like this on your screen. This little arrow here means you can collapse it or expand it whenever, so you can push it to the side if it's in your way. We have 2 sections. We got our audio and our questions box. Now, I assume most of you are listening in through your computer, so using the mic and speakers of your computer. All of you should be muted, so do not worry. Excuse me. If for whatever reason you can't hear me well and you prefer using a telephone, we do have that feature here. You just click that radio button and it will provide you with the phone number of where to call and listen in. Okay. During the webinar, please feel free at any time to answer any questions just by typing it here, okay? Some of our staff members will be answering your questions as much as they can throughout the webinar. Okay, so feel free to answer it right there. Okay, now, this is our agenda for today. First off, I'm going to go through some introductions just to show you who's participating and who's in our team today. Then we're going to give you a really quick background of who we are as a company, right? Then we're going to jump into our live demo on the PIMS Experience and Benchmarking tool, where we'll cover project analysis. Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Urquiaga. I would like to welcome you to Omega Project Solutions webinar on our document control software known as PIMS Document Control. Here we will talk about how we improve the document control process for a specific client and in effect saving them time and money. Hopefully everyone can hear me. If you are using your computer speakers and the sound is good, great. If you feel that you would prefer using the telephone line, you are able to select that option in your control panel. As you can see right up here, we have an audio tab. There's an option here that you can select the radio button for telephone. Once you click on that, you should be able to get a phone number and some instructions to help you out to link in through the telephone. Also, if you have any questions that you would like to ask during the course of the webinar, please feel free to use the question box in the question tab right here below. Excuse me. One of our team members will work to address your question as best as they can, given the time and quantity of questions that they get. Okay. Now, I know it's lunchtime for most of you, so again, thanks for your time. Just for your information, this is what our agenda looks like. First off, I will give a brief introduction of our staff present here today. Next, we will provide you with a brief background on who Omega is as a company and what we do. Then, as mentioned, we will be focusing on a real client situation regarding document control and then conduct a live demo on how we addressed those needs. And finally, time permitting, we will address questions and answers towards the end of the presentation. Okay. Introductions. So this is our staff. Again, my name is Natalia Urquiaga. I am the Omega Systems Project Coordinator.
Welcome. Omega Project Solutions has been a company that's been around since the early 90s, and we have from the very outset focused on major capital projects and helping companies implement and complete those projects better. And we do that through two main avenues. One is our consulting business, where we provide experts in areas like project controls, cost control obviously, health and safety, as well as software tools and implementing those software tools with those organizations to help them streamline processes and produce better results. We have a large product range in the software world. PIMS is our product banner, and within PIMS we have document control, cost management, and that's obviously what we're focusing on today. Experience in benchmarking, which we'll touch on a little because it is closely tied to PIMS cost management. Completion management will also lead a bit into our workflow product as well later on. But when people ask me what is it that makes us unique from a software perspective, well, the answer is simple. At Omega, we do what's needed to make our software your software. Now, we've all heard of the Pareto principle. It's also known as the 80-20 rule, where typically it takes 80% of your time to complete the last 20% of a project. Now, we have anecdotal evidence that says the same is true in cost engineering, that our cost engineers spend too much of their time collecting data and entering it into a system, and it leaves them too little time to analyze and update their forecasts for the project. PIMS cost management enables us to turn that around and enables your cost engineers to spend a lot more time. Okay, let's get started. Thank you all for attending today. My name's Shane Butt. I'll be your host for today. So we're going to look at how you can easily create your project status report using PIMS. You can do it with the click of a button instead of all the hassle of chasing people for updated reports and information. So let's get started. We're using GoToWebinar. At any time you can ask us a question. Just type it in that text box you see there where it says enter a question for staff, and we've got one of our panelists and experts in the background. He'll be monitoring those questions and answering those as best he can with the time available and the volume of questions we come in. So please feel free to add any question in there, and if we can't answer it during today, we will do so afterwards, and we'll post all of the questions and answers with the recording at the end. So our agenda for today, I'm going to briefly introduce the team from Omega that's presenting the webinar. I'll give you some quick background on the company, who we are, what we do. We'll have a live demo, and that will be the bulk of today's webinar. We will in fact produce multiple monthly status reports. We'll then recap on the Q&A, and we'll talk about what's coming up in the near future with Omega events. So our team today, I'm Shane Butt, I'm your host. I'm the Vice President for Enterprise Systems at Omega. With me is Arvid Marcus. He's going to be our demonstrator today. He's a department manager at Omega and an implementation expert with PIMS Cost.
Welcome everyone to Omega Project Solutions webinar on completion and commissioning management. Today you will get a chance to see and learn how to have better control of where your project is headed and manage completion and commissioning deliverables and tasks with a more proactive approach. My name is Natalia Urquiaga, and on behalf of the Omega team, we thank you for your time. Okay. So for those of you new to GoToWebinar application, let me show you how it works. You should see a control panel much like this one on your screen. Here you can select the method of audio and be able to answer questions. Hopefully the sound is coming out good and everyone can hear me clearly. I assume most of you are using the speakers on your computer, but if you prefer using your phone, simply click on this radio button where it says telephone right here, and the number to dial in will appear on your screen. Then here on the bottom, please feel free to ask any questions throughout the presentation. Our product expert will be available to answer them. So you just type in the question there, send, and it will get submitted straight to him. If you wish to collapse or expand the panel, you can do so by clicking on the red arrow here on the side. Know that this webinar is being recorded and will be available at our website, omega.no/us, shortly after today. And also, we'll send you an email with that link. Okay. This is what our agenda looks like. So first, I'm going to go through just some introductions so you guys know who will be presenting and participating today. Then we're going to go give you a background of who we are as a company, so you guys can see where we're coming from and so forth. Then we're going to go ahead and jump into our live demonstration. Then we'll go ahead and give you a summary of the benefits that we've covered. And hopefully we'll have time for Q&A.